The top broke. There was a string in here so that I could like put it on the cup and keep it in the cup, but it's still usable. And my little star, I can't even use it anymore. It doesn't even shut. I guess I need to get some new steepers. So hello and welcome to domytriesthis. I hope you brought your cuppa. Today's coffee mug was a Christmas gift from my brother. He's a little fox. He's a cute little fox. His handle is a tail. I can see difficulty using this one too much. For one, it's got that curved in at the top, which makes it difficult. And this handle is tiny. I can barely get my fingers in there when the tea is really, really hot. And speaking of tea, well, first of all, he also got me with this, a box of Hampstead Organic, their green tea selection. Has 20 sachets, actually has 19 because I tried one. Pure green, green and ginger, green and mint, and green and lemon. So that's not the tea in our cup today. In our cup today is from the December Sips Pie. It is the Tealish Sweetie Pie. This has rooibos, cranberry orange, cardamom, calendula, red cornflower petals, anise, clove, almond, natural flavors. It's caffeine free, sweet, smooth. And they have a story on the back about it. They say, restore body, mind, and planet with our nourishing, delicious, and inspiring blends. 100% recycled packaging. 1% of every sale goes to tree planting, ethically sourced, feel-good herbs and superfoods. Y'all know I don't believe in superfoods. Scientifically, there's no superfoods. Anyway, and spreading good vibes and sharing tea love since 2005. And I had to try it. I mean, we are at the very end of December. Actually, by the time you see this, it'll probably be January. And we're at the end of that holiday season, however, and it has cranberry and orange, and I love that combination. So we're going to give this a sip, and then we'll get started. Smells amazing in the bag, by the way. Not getting quite as fragrant a scent in the cup. She's really hot, too. One, it needs a little bit more sugar. And two, it definitely needs more time. Right now, it tastes like water. It tastes like water. I can't stand water, you guys. I know people say, but water doesn't taste like... Yes, it does. Water tastes like something. I can taste it. I don't like it. We're going to let that sit. My poor little steeper that lost its chain that's supposed to help keep it in where I can grab it in the mug flipped itself upside down. So I don't know if that's part of the problem, but we're going to let her sit. She looks like a good tea. I'm not getting anything. So I mentioned that I wasn't sure in a previous video that I wasn't sure if we would get to an It's New at the end of December. We are getting to an It's New at the end of December, but I will tell you that I didn't hunt around the way I normally do. So if it came across on my IG, when I actually happened to be there, I grabbed it. But beyond that, I didn't really hunt things down. I normally go ahead and try to really look for things for you guys so that you will have a wide variety of things to see. But this one is going to be a very, very short, very short. Because, like I said, I didn't hunt anything down. So we've got maybe 10 things that we're going to be looking at. I don't know if other brands were putting out new stuff at the end of December or in the middle of December. It seemed like most of them were getting ready and focusing on their clearance sales to make room for new stock and new releases that are coming up for 2024. So I'm not sure if we missed a lot. I doubt it. I'm going to go with I doubt it. I didn't, I try not to pick up too much on larger brands. There's a rare few that show up in here that I don't think get a lot of attention. MOIRA, Catrice, they don't seem to they don't seem to get a lot of attention like the big brands, you know, like Pat McGrath and stuff like that. So I just grabbed what I found and didn't go hunting. So, like I said, really short today, and we are going to start with MOIRA Cosmetics. They're starting the year with a bang, Chroma Light Shadows. All right, so they haven't really shown much of these yet. They're going to be out on the 4th, and they will be $6 each. There are 24 shades. The few shades that I'm seeing look very interesting. I would have to get a little palette to put them in because y'all know the only singles I seem to really work well with are like the Star Show pots and things like that. But actual single shadows I tend to ignore. So I would probably have to make my own little palette with these if I were to get these. The colors I have seen are very pretty. A lot of them are very, very neutral. I see there's a blue in the picture, there's a pink, in another shot of it, there's a dark green. There's a lot of peach and brown. So I would actually have to see the colors of these. However, they are MOIRA. They do seem to be, like the Star Show pots, they do seem to be a slightly different formula than what they put into their usual palettes, and their palettes are hit and miss for me. So I tend to not get their palettes a lot of the times. Sometimes they have some crazy ideas with them, like they did the whole game thing that Ace Butte did at one point, and I don't understand that at all. I wouldn't purchase something like that, but I tend to avoid their palettes mostly because if I know the brand is going to be hit or miss, then I tend to not want to pick up stuff that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to, it's going to be a miss or not. If it's a brand new brand, you're taking a risk. If it's a brand that you know is hit or miss, then it's just better to go and find whatever color story that they're presenting somewhere else with a brand that you know is going to be more reliable in terms of formula. That said, the Star Show pots are great. I wouldn't mind trying these. If I had the money, would I pick a couple up? Probably. Next, we have from Playing in Makeup by Yolando, the Contour and Bronzer palette. So this is supposed to be a highly versatile and inclusive mixed race contour and bronzer palette. Designed specifically to enhance the natural features of individuals, these palettes are a must-have for achieving a flawless sculpted look. They have a wide range of shades suitable for different skin tones, provide endless possibilities for contouring and bronzing, allowing you to customize your look to perfection. Smooth and blendable texture of the formula guarantees a seamless application, creating a natural and long-lasting finish, lasts throughout the day. I don't have a release date. For all I know, it's already out, or price. If any of that's available, as usual, all that information would be down below. However, taking a look at this palette, I'm hoping that these pictures are just not doing it justice, because honestly, some of these shades look downright dusty. They do not. I understand what they were going for, but I'm not sure. Well, first of all, it's supposed to be for all skin tones, right? And I don't see a shade in here for my light-colored sisters. And brothers. I know some of you brothers like to use the makeup too. I have no problem with that. It just said, anyway, moving on. I don't see a tone for lighter skinned people. Let's go with makeup users. I do see a couple of shades that do go nice and deep. But some of these shades are just odd to me. There's one that has sort of a green cast to it. This, I think it's like a coffee. I'm not even sure what color that is. It's sort of grayish, so it looks really dusty. It doesn't look like, I don't know. And then there's a nice deep reddish toned brown. The others seem for varying shades of medium skin tone. I could probably use a couple of shades in here. Would I buy this if I had the money? And even if it was affordable, probably not. I have multi-tone bronzing palettes, and there's one that I really enjoy, but I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to use the whole thing because there are shades in there that just are not appropriate for my skin. They're either too light or they're way too dark, and they're just not going to be useful on my skin. I feel that same way about this. Why would I put out even, I don't know, $20 to $22 on the low end, or $30 to $35 or $40, whatever, on the high end, when there's at least 4 shades in here that I probably would never use? That's a lot of money to put on a palette where half of it is not going to be for you. And if you've got darker skin than I do, you have even more shades in here that are not useful. Or if you're really lighter than I am, you have more shades that are not useful. To be fair, you could use some of these as eyeshadows instead of for bronzing, because bronzing, unlike highlighter, bronzing is actually supposed to have some pigmentation to it. So if these have some decent pigmentation, I can see using that red brown on your eyes. But I understand why people do these palettes, but I honestly preferred the way that Alamar did this kind of palette. And even Alamar, I think, had a hitch with it, and that is they did light, medium, dark, and they should have done like a really dark. They should have done another one because even their dark isn't that dark. But all that said, everything in the medium palette is something that I can wear, that I can use. So if I'm putting out the $15 to $30 on that palette, I'm going to use all of it. This one, I'm not going to use all of it. So I get what they were trying to do. I applaud them for trying to reach for a broader audience. But for me, I would say break it up. Put 2 shades, put little compacts, 2 shades each, and put them in light, medium, and dark. And that way, people are buying what they can use and not wasting a bunch of money on what they're not going to use. So would I buy this? No. So Notoriously Morbid has, I guess, a pair of palettes coming out. I'm trying to figure out if they're related. They are Season of the Witch Winter and Season of the Witch Fall. I can already tell you I want them both. The color stories are gorgeous. Gorgeous. Anyway, so Notoriously Morbid, they are already out. They have their winter palette. 1222 one. They do not list a price here, so I'll have to get the price for you down below. If I had the money, would I buy these? Yes, they're beautiful. I want them both. Both of these palettes, the color stories are right up my alley with the colors, and they're just beautiful. And I love the artwork. I have a hard time buying Notoriously Morbid. I don't know if I have anything from Notoriously Morbid, but these are beautiful. If I had the money, would I buy these? Yes. Anyway, moving on, we have, now let's see if I can pronounce this. Wink with Tink has 2 new palettes coming out. They have the Life's Oh So Sweet, Oh Life's So Sweet, and the Crystal Energy palettes coming out. Now, I have been seeing this particular brand posting all over the Instagram. I actually wish they and another one would slow down just a little bit. They slam my Instagram notifications all the time. I mean, like 10, 12, 13 times a day. It's like, the 2 brands are making my phone go off the hook with the buzzing. Anyway, I love the packaging for these. It's very cute. It's also very much like the rest of their the rest of the palettes that they have. I do want to try the brand out. These palettes will be $36. However, they are both way too big. So they're 25 shades each. The Crystal Energy, kind of get where she was going with that, but it's a little too neutral for me. And I like the other Oh, Life's So Sweet. I love that color story. It's got enough shimmers and mattes and all of that stuff in it. But it's 25 shades. Is it? No? 30. It's 30 shades. 30 shades is a lot for me. That's that kind of palette tends to overwhelm me quickly. I mean, yes, I could do an entire look with one of these palettes, but I would sit and stare at it and not know what the heck I'm doing because it's just too much. It's the ADHD, folks. It's the ADHD in me that's just like, no, you don't want to do that. So, I mean, I have a hard time. I love books. I have tons of books. I buy books online all the time. I have a hard time walking into bookstores because there's so many books. I get overwhelmed. And even if I just take myself to the fantasy section, which is the genre I prefer, there's still a lot of books. A lot of books, and I get very overwhelmed very quickly and find it very hard to choose. And that would be the problem here. I would be very overwhelmed by this because it's 30 colors. But the palette itself is beautiful. I like the way they did the gradient. In the top left-hand corner, they have lighter colors, and then they gradually go down into these darker colors down into the right bottom quarter. I love that particular gradient. It's tempting. It's tempting. Especially since it's only $36 and I want to try the brand. So I'm actually going to put, even though I have that problem, I'm going to put this on the fence of maybe, if I had the money, would I buy it? Maybe. Cute artwork, great color story, great, great layout for it, nice price. I'd be willing to give it a shot, I think. But I also think that I would end up looking at it going, oh my God. I swear, I have other palettes that have more than 24, 25 shades in them. I very rarely pull them out. They're just too much. They're too much. You hit the 18 for me and to 21, and that's about my limit. All right, so DD Signature. We actually talked about this in our last It's New. They are doing a empty magnetic pan eyeshadow palette that you can fill. And then they came out with some other things that confused the heck out of me. So I'm going to go through it again and we're going to talk about it. So they're launching the Crystal Magic collection with this 6 shadow empty palette. So my understanding initially of what they were doing here is they were doing a build your own palette. Now it's quite possible this is still build your own palette and I'm just confused because of the way they've introduced it. They've introduced it with 6 very specific shades. So does that mean only those 6 shades come with that palette? I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. The way they've been promoting it, it seems like it. But the way they initially talked about it, I would have to check out and see if they have other singles that you can actually fit in there. So this collection is out. The empty magnetic 6-pan eyeshadow palette is $10. There are 2 high pigment metallics for $11 and 4 holographic multichromes for $15 each. No. First of all, that's a little too rich for my blood. $15. I don't even know what the amount in the pans. It doesn't say anywhere if they're 6 millimeter whatever pans or if they're 12 pans or what. $15 is a lot. 4 for $15, so you're spending $60 just on those 4. No, I don't put $60 down on 4 eyeshadows. I get it, they're multichromes, they're supposedly holographic. Still a no. If I had the money, no. This, to me, is way too expensive. I understand what they're doing. I do like the eyeshadow palette. I am hoping that they do have other loose shadows that will fit in there that you can put in there instead of these. The way they have these priced, it's kind of implying that. But like I said, they have not made that clear anywhere on any of their recent marketing for this collection and this palette. They released this palette and the collection together and announced them together. So I'm feeling like, I mean, like I said, I could be totally wrong, but I'm feeling like they're saying that these shades are what comes with this palette, and that's it. And you can honestly, I think some of their other stuff has been cheaper than the prices they're putting here. You're looking at 60, $82, you're looking at $92 if you want to buy the whole thing for 6 shades. No. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No. At least ColourPop does a deal. Granted, their quality isn't probably the same quality as DD Signature, but at least they do a deal, right? You pick out your palette, you pick out your shades. There's a specific price for those buy-ops, for the palette and the buy-op. This is just no. It's too much. Playing with Yolando also released another palette. This is the Visionary palette. So they're saying this neutral thing with 4 pops of colors and a bunch of shimmers, some of which look very similar to each other, is their game changer in the world of makeup. You mean I can't find other neutral palettes with a few pops of color and lots of champagne and silver and rose gold shimmers? Anyway. Prepare to be dazzled by 30 shades, too many shades, of highly pigmented, buttery smooth, and easy to blend eyeshadows that will take your makeup game to a whole new level. From bold and vibrant hues, what? And sophisticated shades. What's a sophisticated shade? Is she saying browns are sophisticated and colors are not? Yeah, I'm a little spicy about this one. I'm actually probably a little more spicy about it than I would be because of the $90 palette we just talked about. Anyway, has it all to help you make a statement and unleash your creativity. But what truly sets this palette apart is the incredible formulation exclusively crafted by our brilliant CEO, Yolando Salmon herself. You could have done your Visionary formula with a whole lot less neutrals. All the shimmers are neutral shades. So we've got we've got several colors in here that are just almost like, okay, there's like a silver shimmer down in the bottom corner that's called Forceful, and then there's another shimmer on that bottom row called Separate that just looks like a darker version of Forceful. There is another one that looks very similar to both of those called Hustle. There is a gold. Then there's a really nice, it's a very pretty rosy colored kind of shimmer, but next to it is sort of a pinkish silver. And then we have all these browns and oranges. Orangey browns, red brown, brown, black, purpley brown, more brown, mustard brown, yellow, blue, purple, green. I don't know what's visionary about this. and it's boring. Almost all these shades I have somewhere, especially all these browns, because even though I don't keep neutral palettes, almost every palette I have has at least one brown in it. Usually more, because there's a lot of you who like neutrals. I don't. I avoid browns. My skin eats them up. Honest. Um, so we got a lot of browns that I have in other palettes. We've got some primary colors. I think the only color, two colors in there that I would be interested in is the purple and the very dark green. And the purple I definitely have somewhere because you all know I love purples and I collect those things. So would I buy this palette if I had the money? Nope. It's boring. For being visionary, it's not very visionary. So moving on. Catrice is releasing a rather interesting looking new primer. All right, so this is their new Endless Pearls primer. It's probably already out. I do not have a price down below like usual. Elevate your winter glow with our new Endless Pearls primer. It's infused with pale pink pearls. Its lightweight gel texture enhances your natural radiance, prepping skin flawlessly for makeup, cruelty-free and vegan. Indulge in looks-inspired beauty. Would I buy this? No. First of all, I am very happy with my MOIRA Hydrating Plumping Primer. I love this stuff. I want more of this stuff. I have been using it since I picked it up, and it's got a ways to go. It's got a good price. Second, so, backstory. There's a brand that puts gemstones and shit in their eyeshadows. I tried one of their palettes. And those gemstones and shit didn't do shit. Okay? It had poor pigmentation. I did not understand why people were in love with the brand. I still don't understand why people were in love with the brand. Because in all honesty, gemstones are not going to do anything. Pearls are not going to do anything to make this primer, the mascara, the eyeshadow, whatever you're using. They're not going to do anything to it. They're not going to make it better. They're not going to make it work better, and actually may hinder it working. So, to me, this is a gimmick and probably a waste of my money. And on top of that, it's gel, which tells me there's probably some dimethicone or some other silicone in it. And while I am not as, while I tend not to be as anti-dimethicone on my skin as I am on my hair, because on my skin, if you put on a moisturizer or something with dimethicone last, that dimethicone will help seal in everything. So I don't have a problem with that. It screws with my hair big time when I use it, but on my skin, I don't have a problem with it that much. I still try not to use it. I prefer not to use it. So a gel primers, generally speaking, have usually have some sort of silicone in them, and I would just much rather not use that on my skin. So overall, no. And finally, I told you we were going to be quick today. Finally, Nomad Cosmetics is sneak peeking. So they say a new star is coming. We are working to make our 2024 our biggest year yet. As is now our tradition, we will share a preview of the year ahead with pics and a poem on January 1st. I'm filming before January 1st, so that should be out by the time this video shows up. Hope to get you excited for all the places we will go for this first launch, sneak peek above, which we just saw. Guessing game starts January 8th, and the launch date will be January 16th, and it looks like it's galaxy type things. I don't know. It may not be galaxy. Are we going to the galaxy, Nomad? Are we going to the stars? One thing about Nomad I've noticed, you can get a pretty good idea of what the colors are going to be inside the palette from the cover of the palette, usually. And if these colors are any indication, I already want it. There is no, if you have the money, would you buy this? This is, I will probably end up buying this. I support this brand. The last release they put out for 2023 was too neutral for me. Not interested in that at all, but that looks pretty. And I'm really hoping that I'm going to want it because I'm going to buy it. It's the one thing in this whole collection that we looked at that I'm like, yes, give me that. Give me that. Yes, the Seasons of the Witch ones were really cute too. But if I had to make a choice, it would always be Nomad first. Alrighty, so that is it for the day. And I hope you like what you've seen. You'll have to let me know down below if there's anything in these few releases that we've discussed that you're interested in purchasing. We're going to be getting back on track this year with doing more of these. They seem to be doing fairly well on our list. So we're going to go ahead and keep them going. And hopefully at the end of January, you'll get to see my daughter again. She's been busy. Things have been going on at work. She's been having to take care of stuff. Being a manager, nobody's fun. So she will be back at the end of January, hopefully. And in the meantime, like I said, let me know down below if you are interested in any of these. And if you like this, I would really love it if you did all the YouTube-y things and helped us out on the algorithm and went ahead and liked and shared and comment and subscribed and did the things and put a purple heart in the comments. If nothing else, I would love to see a purple heart in the comments. Please, please show me some love with some purple hearts. And in the meantime, we are going to go ahead and try this tea again. I did add some more sugar in the middle of this video. I did add a little more sugar because that sugar was way low. And we're going to hope that the flavor has improved upon itself. I'll be very disappointed if it didn't. Cranberry orange should be nice and bright and vibrant and in your face and citrusy and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and give her a sip and then we can get on out of here. It's a little better. So I am getting the spices more than I'm getting the cranberry or orange. Kind of disappointing. Nobody seems to be able to do cranberry orange tea. I'm not sure why that is. At any rate, that's it. I love my girls. I love my dragonettes. Hope you have a good one.